Hello. If you're in the chat and you can hear me, let me know you can hear me. If you are in the chat and you can hear me, let me know that you can hear me. I don't care if I have 3 people in here tonight. I really don't. I'm going to go over this information and I'm just going to make sure that the information is out here for everyone. But if you can hear me out there, I just want to make sure that you all can hear me. If you can hear me, then let me know in the chat that you can hear me. Also, hey, Grace Levi. Hey, thank you for tuning in, Grace. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, like I said, I don't care if there's 2, 3 people in the chat. I'm going to get this information now. We're going to talk about some things. If you can, if you would, please like. Let me get a like and a share. If you can, do that. And then we're going to start to talk about the one thing that happened today was Louis Lacy, acting Deputy Chief Louis Lacy, was indicted today on bankruptcy fraud, which seems to be a running theme in this administration. So we're going to look at that before we get started with our presentation for this evening. Also, let's just go ahead and play this. What happened today?
First, though, breaking news in the south suburbs. A federal indictment just announced against the former deputy police chief of Dalton. This is Louis Lacy at a recent village board meeting. He's now charged with bankruptcy fraud. Lacy is accused of scheming to hide assets and income from creditors and trying to avoid paying a lawsuit settlement. He was fired as Dalton's deputy chief just last week. This comes as the village's finances are under investigation.
The order after civil rights lawyers.
So, as we can see, Louis Lacy was indicted today on bankruptcy fraud. Man, this can have so many implications to it. For one, since he was indicted, he would have to turn in his badge and his gun, so he can no longer carry a firearm. That's one thing. It also means that there's a vacancy at the police department. What's up, man? Yeah, with a pay, yeah. I love it. Thank you. I said if it ain't but 2 people in here, we're gonna talk about what we're gonna talk about. I just showed the video of Louis Lacy being indicted today. That was CBS. Shout out to CBS website. They ran that piece today about 3 hours ago. And we were talking about what the implications of that means. It means that Louis Lacy, if found guilty, would have to turn in I believe he has to turn in his badge and gun. Either way, he has to turn in his badge and gun. It means he can't carry a firearm. So he couldn't be acting chief. He couldn't be a deputy. He couldn't do anything anyway without being able to carry a gun. So that happened today. So let's just hope that's the first thing that is going to happen with this administration, and let's hope that there are more things to come with that as well. So with that being said, we are going to jump into it. So part 4 today, let's do a little recap. So yesterday we talked about, let me find the article that we went through yesterday. And I'm not nervous, but it's different doing this live than just doing my recordings. It's easier doing my recordings, just to let you know. So yesterday, this is what we talked about. We talked about the Triad Consulting Services. So if you watched my previous videos, you know that I decided to name our particular Dalton and Thornton Township the Syndicate. So we have Tiffany as the so-called boss. Hey, Tina, how you doing? Thank you for tuning in. So we have Tiffany as the boss, and then you have everyone else under her, and you had Galdo at the village before he decided to resign as the village lawyer. So we talked about that. So now we're going to move to another part of the syndicate, which we'll call them another family that Galdo deals with, and that's Triad Consulting Services. Triad Consulting Services consisted of Nikki Zoller, Khalid Mani, and Chris Lay. Okay, fun facts about Nikki Zoller. Nikki Zoller is actually married to the ComEd executive that was caught up in the bribery scandal with Michael Madigan, the former Speaker of the House, and all of those people. He is one of those executives that got caught up in that bribery scheme. Yeah, small world, right? Khalid Mani, he actually has been with the Triad Consulting Services since its inception, and he really deals with maintenance contracts. They do like janitorial contracts for buildings downtown Chicago and government buildings, those things. Chris Lay, he is a tech person. He is a tech person, but they started this particular company. And from that company, Nikki Zoller wanted to start SafeSpeed. None of them have any red light camera experience. But this is what SafeSpeed was red light camera based, meaning that this is their thought process for SafeSpeed. They were trying to say that they wanted to put up cameras at the intersections for the safety of the residents, saying that it could deter people from running red lights and speeding and those things of that nature. But none of them have a background in cameras or technology. And you see on the screen this Omar Mani. This is the guy that we're going to focus on tonight for part 4 of Galdo. And why, you might ask. Omar Mani happens to be the former law clerk. That's right, the former law clerk for Galdo. So Omar Mani, worked for Galdo for years at Melrose Park. Melrose Park, the village of Melrose Park, is where Galdo had his first law office, and it actually was Giglio and Galdo law firm, and they were located inside of the village hall of Melrose Park. And so Omar Mani was a law clerk there for Galdo. And I showed you all that in this article that we read by the Forest Park Review. You can look it up for yourself. If you go down to the part of the article that states SafeSpeed ties to lawyer questioned earlier. So let's get the timeline correct. 2007 is when SafeSpeed started. Galdo was just starting out in his law firm with his one partner, which was Giglio. Delgado began to help Nikki Zoller form SafeSpeed, meaning he helped her write the rules and form the corporation for SafeSpeed and how it runs and operates. And then it says in 2009, 2 years after the company was organized, Delgado's name was added to SafeSpeed's member list, meaning that he was an investor. 3 months after that, then they took him off. Yeah, that's amazing to me that he got put on and then he got taken off. When he was asked about it, he said, as usual, he didn't have any affiliation with SafeSpeed. That was the first lie, because I just told you that in 2007, he was giving Nikki Zoller legal guidance on how to form the company. So that was the first lie he told. Then he said he was puzzled about why he would be in the paperwork. I don't see how you puzzled if you helped form it. The reason why he tried to get off the paperwork so fast in 2009 was because he was advising the mayor of Berwyn. And Berwyn was about to sign a contract with SafeSpeed to put up red light cameras. It was actually the first red light cameras that were going to go up in Illinois, and in Berwyn is where they were going. So when someone asked the spokesperson for SafeSpeed why Delgado walked away, she said she claimed that he felt like it was going to be slow to produce profits. Please explain something to me. Make something make sense, y'all. Let's talk this out. How could a red light camera company not produce income or be slow to produce income? Because when you're out there driving yourself, you see loads of people run red lights, loads of people speeding. So let me know how that would be a slow producing company. And I'm pretty sure that Delgado didn't feel that this would be a slow producing company himself, just knowing him and knowing that he likes money. So now we go to Omar Mani. This is the former law clerk. As you see in this article, Forest Park Review says, confirmed and found out that Omar Mani was the former law clerk of Delgado and was a founder of SafeSpeed. So for him to say that he didn't have any affiliation with SafeSpeed when he knew that his former law clerk was an investor. So how did he not have an affiliation? He knew all the parties involved. Okay, so let's talk about what Omar Mani did, because this is where, remember the first episode, we were talking about Delgado's divorce. We were talking about his wife. We were talking about how she began to subpoena his financial records from all of these villages and townships that he represents to get a full money picture about him. And he sounded the alarm and said there was no need for that. And she had all the information. How? Omar Mani. Now, keep in your mind, I said that Delgado helped Nikki Zoller form her company. So he knows how to structure companies. Omar Mani used to work for him. He created 2 corporations, the BOC Enterprises, and I think it's Mani Enterprises too. But if you know, when you form a corporation, shareholders don't have to be listed. The only people that are listed on paperwork is the owner or the operating person, the president, the CFO, the CEO of the company. So he didn't have to be listed. So in fact, if Delgado still wanted to be involved in SafeSpeed, all he would have to do is invest in one of these companies that Omar Mani had as a shareholder, BOC Enterprises, or one of the other corporations, and his name would not be listed, but he would still be gathering money. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. So that's why Bethany, his wife, was so upset, and she knew that there was more money that he should be declaring and letting the court know that his income, because this is what she knew that he could do. So let's go now. So for part 4, we're going to go to the law clerk and what happened with the law clerk, because this is about patterns. This is about what people do, behaviors. You need to not only worry about researching your elected officials, but you need to also make sure you know the people that they are hiring, the people that are coming to your village to be the village lawyer or the village accountant. You need to know who these people are. Okay? So let's look at Omar Mani, because this right here blew my mind. It says former red light camera exec who helped feds gets his bribery case dismissed. Now, let's look at how this came about. And this actually happened. Look at the date. Look at the date right there. May 11th, 2023. Okay, it says Omar Mani, co-founder of SafeSpeed LLC, made a deferred prosecution deal in a corruption probe involving Chicago and South suburban officials. Look at this. Nearly 3 years after he cut a deal to cooperate with federal investigators in a wide-ranging probe of public corruption in Chicago and the South suburbs, prosecutors Thursday dropped a bribery case against the former co-owner of a red light camera company. During a telephone hearing that lasted around a minute, federal prosecutors dismissed the single count of conspiracy to bribe a public official that had hung over businessman Omar Amani's head since he was charged in 2020. Somebody tell me where Galdo was in 2020. Okay, I'm going to tell you. He was in Dalton. He was in Dalton, being the village mayor of Dalton while this was going on. Okay, so let's read. Mani's lawyer, Jeffrey Littman, and after the hearing that Mani did indeed cooperate fully with the federal investigation, which would go on to ensure that the late state Senator Martin Sandoval, former Crestwood Mayor Louis Presta, Oak Brook Terrace Mayor Tony Rigucci, Cook County Board member Jeff Tobolewski, and Tobolewski's chief of staff Pat Doherty. Mani had may yet take the stand in an upcoming trial stemming from the red light camera probe. Okay, so let me break this down for y'all. Let me tell you. So all of those people listed in red, right? The feds indicted all of these people, every last one of them. Okay. Now, do you see why Delgado left and said he didn't have anything to do with SafeSpeed? Allegedly, or could possibly Delgado have an inside source to the FBI, tipping him off when subpoenas are about to come or when people are about to get arrested or indicted? Because look, if he can get his divorce papers sealed by the Department of Justice, I don't see why he wouldn't know someone in the FBI. That's right, Minion. He knew the feds was coming. So he got out of there. He was like, oh no, I'm not about to be involved in this. And so all those people in red, they go, which this would stem from Springfield all the way out here in the South suburbs. So let me tell you. So the Crestwood mayor, Louis Presta, let me tell you why he was indicted. Because he took a bribe, a cash bribe from Omar Mani for $5,000. Then Omar Mani and SafeSpeed was donating money to his campaign. What do that sound like? That sound like pay to play to me. That's what that sound like to me, allegedly. But that's what it sound like. But all of these people was indicted. That's for sure. Um, but it sounds like pay to play to me. That's what happened. And the Crestwood mayor, he ended up getting greedy. He ended up getting greedy and kept asking Safe Speed to donate more and more money and do more and more things. So that's how he got caught, because he wanted them to start donating to his celebrity golf tournament. Martin Sandoval, we're going to read about him because he's important, because he's closer to the governor. So you want to see how all these people tie together. Galdo knows all of these people: the Speaker of the House, the governor, Pritzker. He knows the ComEd executives. He knows Nikki Zoller, who ended up working for two governors during their tenures. Pat Quinn, and the other one is Edgar Sullivan or something like that, I believe. Then this Oak Brook Terrace mayor, he was taking bribes too and getting money donated to his campaign. This Cook County board member, Jeffrey Tobolewski, he had two jobs. He was getting two paychecks. He's a Cook County board member, and I believe he was the Cook County commissioner as well. And then his chief of staff, they were all taking bribes. I mean, this was unbelievable. And Safe Speed was donating to campaigns, to all these campaigns. They had spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in order to gain these contracts out here in the South suburbs. Why? Because the South suburbs goes unchecked. It goes unchecked. Nobody's out here watching the South suburbs. They're always watching the center of attention, which is going to be your main city. They're going to be watching Chicago, or they're going to be watching Springfield. They're not going to be watching little towns like Dalton, Illinois, or Thornton Township. They're not going to be doing that. So they can come out here and pay to play, run amok, do whatever they want to do. Yes, and that's what's going on here, Dina. That they are playing to pay. But Tiffany did get greedy. Yes, she did. She got greedy, and we're going to get to her, because then you're going to know why they needed to use her. Once we go to the next phase of this, you're going to see why they needed to use her, and why it was very important that she get that supervisor seat. Okay, you're going to see why it was very important that she get that supervisor seat. And then when she got the supervisor seat, she brought Galdo with her there. She tried to get Galdo at the school board, and they was like, no. And we're going to talk about that too, because it's loads of money that go through the school board as well. I mean, these are other places that you need to check if you think there is corruption in your city or in your local government. You need to start with the school board and then work your way to your mayor, your trustees, or your councilman, or, however your government is set up where you live. So let's continue here. So listen, as a part of his assistance with investigation, Monty wore a concealed microphone that recorded multiple incriminating conversations with Doherty and the other players in the scam. My goodness. Who did that sound like? Do you all, let's do some conspiracy theory right quick. Do you all think that Galdo may have talked to Keith about being an informant, since Tiffany didn't want to listen, allegedly? I mean, Grace, there you go. The school board controls a lot of things, because a lot of money goes through them school boards. Okay? That's right, Dina. Tiffany being recorded in the car. Okay? Tiffany being recorded at the office. I mean, What do you do when you have a person that doesn't listen and goes rogue? What should you do to protect yourself? I mean, is no honor among thieves. We can see that. We can see that there is no honor among thieves, especially in this Dalton and Thornton Township situation. And in my opinion, we're gonna see Lewis Lacy possibly, have to do something. So we'll just wait and see how that situation play out. But I feel like if he is looking for a way out, that's the way. That's right. That's why you do need to start attending and participating in your school board meetings to find out what they're doing over there, to find out what money they have over there, how much money they have over there, and what they're doing with it. Is what they're doing with it make sense for your school board budget? See what they're spending stuff on. Okay, so like I said, all these people got indicted. The former law clerk of Galdo, he escapes. Seems like to me somebody taught him how to be an escape artist, allegedly. He escapes prosecution because he turns state's evidence and starts recording for the feds. Okay, Pat Doherty was the sales rep for Safe Speed, a camera company that Monty co-founded and was a part of his deals with the prosecutors. Monty admitted that he and Doherty, listen to this, hatched a plan to pay a relative of an unnamed village board member in Oaklawn, hoping to sway the board members' vote to install safe speed cameras in the village. Now, what do that sound like? Let's rewind back to the first one when we were talking about the divorce. And Bethany's parents had a towing company that Delgado supposedly helped them allegedly get a towing contract with the city of Cicero, where he is the current village attorney. Then he wanted the family, her father, to have someone else. What did Monty just do? They told somebody else. They went to a family member of somebody else and told them to sign something. Sounds familiar to me. Delgado wanted them to have somebody else to sign a contract so it couldn't be traced back to him. Allegedly. Okay? Wow, this is amazing. In calls recorded by investigators, Doherty told Monty that the trustee was out of a job and looking for a job for his son. I think he's looking to make as much money as he can because he's going to college, and his dad's going to have no money to give him because he's out of work, Doherty said during one of several recorded calls. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how these people's weaknesses may get played upon, and in their weakness, they give in and they do these things that they're asked. For example, I was talking to somebody the other day about Officer Terry Young. Officer Terry Young is the officer that has all of that overtime on the Lori Lightfoot report, and people have been very mean to him and things like that, but we don't know his personal situation. I do know that he has a son that he tries to provide for, and if I'm not mistaken, he may be a single dad. I don't know, allegedly, but I know he has a son for sure. And when you're faced with, expenses and things of that nature, and people see a way that they can get money, I don't know what you do in that situation. I know what I would do, but I'm not everybody. Other people are tempted easier. So, that is a potential weakness, and that's what these people go for. So then Doherty had to plead guilty to bribery and tax charges, and he was sentenced to 5 years in prison. Now, Monty, look at this. He spent no time behind bars and Court records showed a judge with consent from prosecutors allowed Monty to go on a week-long trip to the Grand Cayman with his family in 2022 and Aruba in March. I know you lying. I know you lying. If that was one of us, it would never would that have happened. Never would. And that's right, man. You better trust in something other than people to make a way out of no way for you. Okay? But look at that. Monty escaped, and they had nerve to let him go on vacation. Couldn't be one of us. Couldn't be one of us. But that was a brilliant play. That was a brilliant play that he did that. The escape artist was Galdo, though, because he escaped without even being mentioned in the subpoenas, in the indictments, in anything. But he taught his law clerk well, allegedly. Okay? Because this man escaped prosecution and then he was allowed to leave the country. You can't tell me. Lord, I don't even know what to say about that. All right, so we're going to go from that to... I'm looking for my other article. Give me a second. Oh, here it is right here. Okay. So now we're going to go from... We got all of the connections made from those people with Delgado. And that was his little syndicate up in the northern suburbs of Chicago. So out in Berwyn, in Melrose Park, like all of these people are in that area. They're in that area. And so that was his little syndicate. Million. That's what I would say, a mastermind. I mean, I'm telling you, I feel like if he used his powers for good, man, he could turn this world upside down. He could turn this world upside down if he used the knowledge that he has as far as municipal law, as far as how to structure corporations and everything. If he used that energy for good, boy, I'm sure that the village of Dawn would not be in the situation that they're in right now if he did that. So this right here is the senator that was involved in the indictments. His name is Senator Martin Sandoval. As you can see, this article was written in 2019. In 2019, Michael Delgado was not in Dalton or Thornton Township yet. He was a year from that. He was just out of his divorce. He was a year out of his divorce. He also was in a relationship, and I don't know how long he was in a relationship with the lady from the Cook County Land Bank, the chief of staff of the Cook County Land Bank, but he was in a relationship with her. This is around the time, and just to let's go over it one more time. When he was in a relationship with her, he became the lawyer for the Cook County Land Bank after the FBI delivered subpoenas to the Cook County Land Bank. Then all of a sudden, enter Delgado. Now, what would he be doing? First of all, dating the chief of staff for the Cook County Land Bank. But then all of a sudden, he's the lawyer after the FBI leave. And also during that time, he was not getting paid. He was doing work for the Cook County Land Bank. They had not signed a contract with him. And he had not gotten paid for the first amount of work that he done, which he charged $25,000 for. And then after he got his contract paid, they ended up owing him $32,000, which they paid. But he ended up making a campaign contribution to the commissioner of the Cook County Land Bank. Huh? Okay, I'm going to leave that right there, but you get that figured out. I want you to keep that in your mind. So let's talk about this senator, because this senator has dealings with Pritzker. So the state lawmaker who appears to be in the crosshairs of federal investigators, this, like I said, this was 2019. So they're saying that he's gonna resign in 2020. So that would be January of 2020. And guess where he is a senator? In Cicero. So, and who is the lawyer for the village of Cicero? That's right, Del Galdo. So he definitely knows Del Galdo, allegedly. Say allegedly, but he does know him. Okay, we know that he knows him because why? Because he was an investor in Safe Speed, and Martin Sandoval was a very loud cheerleader for Safe Speed in the Senate. This right here says that including skipping all of the Illinois General Assembly since the FBI raided his home. The FBI raided this senator's home and Springfield and his legislative offices back in September of 2019. He writes this letter telling people it's been his honor to serve people. How when you have been taking bribes, sir. According to the search warrant served on Sandoval's Springfield office, information on utility giants ComEd and Exelon is among the material the feds are interested in. Why? Because now this is the time where there is an investigation into briberies with the Speaker of the House and ComEd. We are going to get into that in part 5 because that part takes us all the way to the governor. Takes us all the way to the governor. Let's see here. Let's go back. So it says the search warrant also seeks information related to a prominent asphalt business, construction company, and highway officials. Okay, so I don't know if you all remember. I look at how much control he gave to Tiffany. I know that's right. I don't know if you all remember, but in one of my videos about Delgado, we talked about how the mafia is structured and how they move. And we said our syndicate, what was our syndicate? Where were they getting their money from? Okay. Where were they getting their money from? We said that they were getting their money from allegedly real estate. We also saw them Tiffany tried to do restaurant money. She good burger. And look at this senator. Look at this senator. What are they the search warrant seeks information related to a prominent asphalt business, construction company, and highway officials. So, and we said that the mafia, according to howstuffworks.com, the mafia or the, people that are not dealing in above things, these are the things that they put their money in. These are the businesses that they put their money in. Construction. What recently did we have? We had construction, Oak Construction in Dalton with these senior homes doing work. Very interesting. I don't know what construction company this is. I think I'm going to try to find out what construction company was involved, because if that paper say Oak Construction, I'm going to run. I'm going to run out of my bedroom. I'm going to run. Okay. So then it says Sandoval has served as chairman of the Senate's powerful Transportation Committee until he stepped down from the post in mid-October. One thing I could tell you about Delgado, he don't deal with the lower levels. He don't live with the lower levels. He goes straight to the top. He going to be about his business. He's going to the person that's in charge. He knows this senator right here, and look at, he says he was in charge of the powerful Transportation Committee. So let's go back. Why would they lie and say Delgado pulled out of the red light business, the Safe Speed business, because it was slow to produce, when this man literally knows the man who is the head of the transportation committee. Why? Why would they say that? Knowing goodness darn well this man right here. And what would he do? He would ask this man to, hey, you think you can collect a couple of votes from me? We already found out that Galdo puts together, meetings for people. He put together a meeting between Governor Pritzker and the mayor or president of Cicero. We know that already. He put a meeting together for him in his office. So, that's why I'm telling you, what do? You put together meetings. This is what you do. Boy, I'm telling you. Let's see what this says. It says, days after the raid on Sandoval's offices and home, federal agents also conducted searches in McCook, Lyons, and Summit, all municipalities that are in Sandoval's 11th district. And then this just talks about how they were going to have to reappoint somebody for the position. This right here blew my mind. It says Sandoval isn't the only senator under scrutiny. State Senator Tom Cullerton, Vernon Hills, is fighting an embezzlement charge. Another senator, Terry Link of Waukegan, has been identified by the Chicago Tribune and the Chicago Sun-Times as a mole for the FBI in a case that led to the arrest on bribery charges of former state rep Louis Aurora. I mean, this thing is wild. This is wild. Like, yes, they want to keep the money in the protection going, because how do you further yourself? The South Suburbs is a hotbed for corruption because, like I said, it goes unchecked. But also, people come out here to build credibility for their political careers. They start out here in the South Suburbs and they start out doing the right thing. They may do, the first year they're going to do everything the residents want them to do, just to keep the residents quiet and keep the residents not looking. So yeah, I'm gonna come out here. If my term is 3 years, I'm gonna come out here the first year. I'm gonna go hard at it. I'm gonna go hard and make you think that I'm doing everything that I should be doing. Case in point, the Harvey mayor. I can tell you for a fact that when he was the alderman in Harvey, he was revered. He was well respected as an alderman. What he's doing now is unbelievable. What he's doing now. He never did those things as an alderman. So those people have been duped by him because he was a great alderman. Matter of fact, him and KP used to go head to head. They did not like each other at all. And they still don't. But during that time, he used to give it to Keith. And if I'm not mistaken, he was also helped in Keith not having all of those positions, because KP used to hold 4 positions. That means he was getting 4 checks. And so, they did something about that. So the South Suburbs, y'all need to be careful because they feel like you all are victims, you're targets, for this, for corruption, for hold on, because I'm doing something. All right, did it. So that makes it easier for them to come out here. Also, the Thornton Township, like the township is set up for services, meaning that money comes into the township and not small amounts of money, large amounts of money in the millions to give services to the residents, for windows, new windows, roof, tree cutting, mental health, seniors. I mean, you have so much money that comes out here. And once it comes out here, it's not checked on again. It is not ever checked on again. So you as the residents, you have to make sure that you're showing up to your meetings, you are following the budget, you are FOIAing stuff you don't understand, you are asking questions about things you don't understand. Because man, it's going to be important, especially now that we're about to go into an election year, and hopefully things will be changing out here in Thornton Township and in Dalton. But I say, even if powers do change, y'all need to stay on these people. You need to make sure you are checking everything. All of the money that's supposed to be coming in, FOIAing everything that you want to FOIA, credit cards, bank accounts, all of the information that you can FOIA. We're going to go over that. We're going to do a FOIA, how to do a FOIA one night. Hopefully you guys will tune in for that. I mean, we're gonna try to make it exciting. Also, we're gonna go over the Robert's Rules of Order. Trying to let you all know how a proper meeting is supposed to be run. As well as we've got another part to this Galdo thing. Man, this is getting crazy. You see he linked to the senator here. The senator would be linked to the governor. He was a head of the most powerful committee in the Senate. So you know that he speaks to the governor. And they give reports to the governor. So you know that he spoke to him. So we're going to be moving from this little family here back to Dalton and Thornton Township. We are going to, the next part, we're going to be talking about Shanti Rains Welk, and the Speaker of the House, the now Speaker of the House, Chris Welks. And some of the things that I'm going to tell you about the Speaker of the House, the current Speaker of the House, you're going to be asking yourself, how did he even become Speaker of the House? Why? We're going to talk about why Shanti Rains Welks left the South Suburbs. We're going to talk about that more. We're also going to talk about her becoming what she became once she left and why she left. And once we do that, I think you will understand better what I mean when I say that the South Suburbs is where people set their foundation or their credibility for politics. And that's why you have to research the people that are running in your town. I cannot stress this enough. I don't care if you like them. I don't care if you met them. You should research them regardless. You should make sure you know who they are. You should make sure you know who you're voting for. Just make sure. Make sure that you know. Just because you speak to them in person and they're very cordial to you, it doesn't mean anything. That's just like, when Tiffany, people were making comments at the meeting. Well, she had an arrest record and you guys still voted her. Yeah, but she also was trustee. She, I would say she really didn't do too many things as a trustee other than mess with Mayor Riley. Mayor Riley was like her arch nemesis. The way they used to go back and forth with each other was crazy. I also am going to be, once we talk about the Speaker of the House and his wife and how they relate out here to the South Suburbs and everything, then we're going to talk about something else that's going to blow your mind and that you need to be aware of. This platform will be strictly an investigative and informative platform. I want to help you all make the best decisions for your voting history, for your life. Because right now, Dalton is going to be fighting for their life for the next few years. And if they don't get this, how much they're in debt, because my prediction, I'm going to give y'all my prediction. What I predict is that Dalton, Illinois is in a 70 million plus hole. And they're going to end up with an emergency manager like Flint did when they was in a water crisis. Because December 1st, there are some things that are coming due that have to be paid. And when I say have to, they are bonds. That means they have to be paid. And they are in the millions. And we just saw Lori Lightfoot say that the cash is at $3,900. Now, why is that somebody's house budget in a bank account when we talking about a village of 20,000 people? That's crazy. So we're going to give kudos to another YouTuber because we're going to be reviewing some of his information where he lets it be known that Dalton has been in this dire situation since 2003. And we're going to get into that after we talk about the Speaker of the House and his wife. So we're going to find out a lot of things. Tonight, let's see, Paul Roberts. Hey, it's the Super Residents. I love y'all. Tonight, we are celebrating the indictment of the reason for at least half of Dalton's debt and why liability insurance premiums tripled in the last 3 years. Yes, Paul, we talked about that in the beginning. I played the news clip of the acting deputy chief Lacey. Well, we don't got to call him nothing now but Bookman. We call him Bookman. We can call him Lacey. We can call him Lewis because he doesn't have a future in law enforcement anymore if, this happens. So he will have to turn in his badge and his gun. He will no longer be able to carry the gun. If he is indicted on these charges and they go through, that's that on that. So yeah, that is a victory for the village. That is a victory for the village of Dalton. Man, he didn't file bankruptcy. I wish it was a way that the village could get money back from him, that he should have to pay the village every month after he pay his bankruptcy. I don't feel like that should stop. I feel like he should continue having to pay the village for these lawsuits that he was involved in. That's going to take the village years to dig them ourselves out from. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about some things as it relates to that Dalton debt. Hopefully, we're gonna have some interviews on the platform as well. And I just want this to be a very informative platform. I want this to be an investigative platform. So let me know, leave me comments, good, bad, or indifferent about how you liked the broadcast or how you didn't like the broadcast. Let me know. That's right, Dina. Tell him he can clear the cell. Tell him he can clear the cell now. That's it. That's all he can do. Maybe they'll let him be the janitor in there. He looked like a buffing boss to me. Looked like he can run a buffer. All right, before I get off of here, I'm going to take a couple of questions. Do anybody have any questions for me? Anybody? It's 8 people watching. Thankful for all of you 8 people. I hope you hit the like button. I hope you share this investigative piece that we did today. I hope that y'all encourage people to come back. Love the broadcast. Thanks for research and presentation. Thank you so much, Crustable. Please leave me a message or under one of my posts. I'm going to make a post and ask you guys what all other things you want to see from this channel. just so I can make sure that we're very informative on this channel. Thank you, Minion, with the opinion. I can't wait to go and watch your stuff. And Grace Levy, I can't wait to go and watch your stuff. You all make sure that you follow both of them, especially Minion with the opinion. He is excellent with the videos. Y'all let me know. Any questions for me? Any questions that you all have for me? About today's information, or I'm telling you, then you want to be here for the next live, because the next live is going to have this bombshell of information about the Speaker of the House, and we're going to talk about how he became Speaker of the House, and we're going to talk about, you know, his wife and why she left from out here and what she did after she left from out there. But I just want it to be I want this to be a great channel of information. I'm going to try to get resources to, if you all ask me questions or you want to see certain people on the platform. I'm going to tell you one of the future people that I want to have on this platform. Y'all help me get these subs up, because I want to have Bert Olderson and Mark Sturck on this platform, because I really feel like they are the unsung heroes of the South Suburbs. They are always fighting villains, and you're going to see why I say that in the next live. Okay? You're going to see why I say that on the next live. These two men, these two attorneys are superheroes without capes. And you're going to see why I said that after you see what we talk about on the next live. So I'm going to reach out to them and see if I can get an interview with them on this platform, and not so much talk about, you know, what's going on in Dalton, because I'm sure that they can't talk about that, but I want to talk with them about, have they ever seen anything like this in their lifetime? Bert Olderson has had his law license since 1972. Let that sink in. 1972. So I want to know, you know, over the years, what have they seen? You know, how can they work without getting paid? How do they feel about that? You know, and it seems like they're really in it for the people. So those are things that I want to do. If you all don't have any questions, or you don't want to give me any suggestions about what you want to see on this channel, like I said, this channel is about peace, love, harmony, investigation, and information, and that's it. So, any questions? Any questions from anybody? It's 4 people in here. Anybody? If not, I'm going to run my credits while I wait to see if there's any questions. There's my fair use disclaimer. Run my credits. Thank you all for participating in tonight's live. I appreciate all of you. I really do. And thank you for coming on this journey with me. Let me turn this music off. Hold on. Dina, you say you have a question? I was seeing it. What's the question? Dina, you still here? What is the question, Miss? Nope, not even. Nope, not even. You don't have the question no more? Y'all left? I see 3 people still in here. Nope, no question. No question. Oh, are we able to find out if Delgado is still a silent partner to the foolishness? We can. We'd have to FOI some information, so that's what I'm looking into doing now. I'll be looking into FOIing, because what you have to do is they have to file something once a year that lists the shareholders. I have to find out if when their year ends in order to be able to FOIA that information. So I definitely would look into it. However, SafeSpeed is closed, so he couldn't be a participant in that anyway. But there are some other things that I want to look up and see if he is a party to. And I want you all to notice something too. This is the last thing I say, then I'm gonna get off. If you notice, the articles that I use are never the mainstream articles. That's why people don't know this information about them, because they have connections and they keep this stuff out of the mainstream media. Crustable, yes, they did change their name, but I'm not sure if in my next episode or my next live, I will be going into what the structure looks like now for SafeSpeed, because the original SafeSpeed is closed and they did change the name, and I do believe they changed a few of the people as well. So I'm going to be looking into that and getting that information to see, because now you still have the red light cameras. I think they have one in Dalton now. And I don't think that came to Dalton until Galdo came to Dalton, if I'm not mistaken. But they have one in Dalton, if I'm not mistaken. So that's part of the information that I'm FOIAing from the village, is the red light camera information. And then we'll be able to start uncovering that. So that's something I'll definitely be looking at. Just to make sure, not even said, just making sure that he's still not a part of the foolishness. But I mean, I can guarantee you he's a part of a lot of other things. He knows a lot of people. So I was hit by one in Dalton in 2017. Olson was the attorney back then. Oh, okay. Crustable, you were hit by what? Let me ask Crustable. I'm trying to find out now. Oh, red light camera. Oh, okay. And Olson was the attorney back then for the village. I always hated the fact that Tiffany did that to Bert Olson and Mark Sturck with all of that Galdo business, doing that. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Because every other mayor besides for Tiffany got along with Bert and Olson and Mark Sturck, and they have done a lot for the south suburbs out here. In the next video that we're going to review, we're going to talk about how some of the contracts were negotiated by them to help these villages repay some of their debt and not put so much on the residents. Bert Olson and Mark Sturck ended up helping Calumet City with their firefighters contract negotiation. Yeah, they have. Delgado and Olson have been fighting. I told you, Olson and Sturck, they like the superheroes of the south suburbs. They are the superheroes, and then you got the villains. That's what I'm gonna say. And they have been fighting them. They have been fighting forever. And I'm not sure, I wouldn't say it's necessarily for clients, but I would say it's necessarily for power. Because if you notice, Bert Olson and Mark Sturck, they have moral ethics. So they take on clients that want to do the right thing, that are making ordinances and creating laws and, doing the right things with the money that comes in, getting a bond lawyer, doing the things that they are supposed to be doing. If you look at the other people, they're always involved in something There's always some sort of controversy, surrounding whatever they're doing. Just like with Galdo and this tow truck company that his ex-wife's family owns. So that's it. Nope, not even. Good versus evil. That's the way I see it. And it's always a battle. It's always a battle. But Mark Sturck and Bert Olson, I'm telling you, they are superheroes. They are like the Clark Kents of the South suburbs. At least they try to be. Look at the way that they're dealing with Dalton. They haven't even gotten paid, not one invoice, because every meeting, what does Tiffany put on the agenda? Every meeting, she tries to fire them. She wants to put on the agenda to have them fired. I mean, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy that she does this every meeting. So yeah, that is unfortunate. All right, you guys, I know you're tired of me. We're going to get out of here and let y'all enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you. Thank you for being here with me on this live. I'm going to drop a video tomorrow, and then let's say we'll try to go back live. I would like to say Wednesday or Thursday. I have to see my schedule. I got some interviews for you guys coming. We're going to do a live interview with somebody, and this somebody is going to be talking about the Kasperick CPA firm for Dalton, Illinois, Thornton Township, and we're going to add University Park. All right. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Thank you.